You're tuned to Channel 1, where everything is talk, talk, talk. Coming up, the top-rated daytime TV show, Okra. But first, an important message for anyone who's ever suffered from dead stalks and leaves. It's happened to all of us. It's the night of the big dance, and you feel like you're covered with dead leaves and stalks. You've tried shaking them off, trimming them off, but it's a losing battle. Now there's help. With just one application of Compostia Dead Leaf and Stalk Remover, those unwanted brown pieces will fall painlessly away. And because Compostia is a non-aerosol spray, it's also safe for the environment. Compostia is available without a doctor's prescription. Actual results may vary. Do not use if you suffer from wilting or chlorophyll loss. If dead leaves and stalks persist, consult a physician.
Good day. I'm Oprah. Today, we're talking to plants who are always seeing greener pastures in other plants' yards. These plants are constantly looking elsewhere to satisfy their botanical urges. Are they looking for love or just looking for trouble? We'll find out. My first guest, Daisy, couldn't resist temptation. After months of flirting and clandestine stroking, she was finally pollinated by her sister's husband. Daisy, can you tell us what you were looking for?
Well, Okra, my sister and I have always competed. When we were young, her leaves were glossier, her flowers were bigger, and she went on dates while I sat at home. She had everything, I had nothing. Finally, I couldn't stand watching her having this great life while I was so lonely. Her husband's quite attractive, so I decided I wanted him, and I went after him. Before I knew it, I had a fruit of my own. My sister won't talk to me no more, but I don't regret it at all.
My next guest, Soft Fruit, had affairs with the wives and girlfriends of every member of his Pollinators Anonymous group. Tell us your story.
Well, you see, Okra, I couldn't help myself. These gals were hurting because their mates were always on the prowl, looking elsewhere. They felt rejected, and I was there to comfort them. Besides, it made me feel good to be wanted. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
I'm not so sure about that. Let's ask our studio audience, what do you all think of Soft Fruit's behavior? Well, it looks like our audience disagrees with you. Well, that's all we've got time for today, folks. Tune in tomorrow when I talk to plants who drop fruit in other plant solaria. See you then!
You've been watching Okra. Stay with the Talk Channel for the show that answers your special questions. Ask Dr. Root. But first, this.
Doesn't someone you know deserve a special treat? Well, get a pencil ready. For a limited time only, the mystical Experience Salon, conveniently located in downtown Fernborough, is offering a free introductory day of beauty. This is a limited time offer and is absolutely free. Surely you know someone who deserves this free limited time offer. Just call us at Leaf Flower Flower Fruit with the name of your deserving relative or friend, and we'll send their personal invitation right over. Remember, this free offer is available only for a limited time. That number again, Leaf Flower Flower Fruit.
Hello everyone, Dr. Root coming to you live on the Talk Channel. As always, we are accepting calls here on the show. Just call flower, fruit, and you can ask Dr. Root. Don't forget to turn off your TV before you call. Hello, this is Dr. Root. What would you like to ask about today?
Is this Dr. Root?
Yes, please ask your question.
Sometimes I wake up with sap all over my roots. Is this normal?
Oh, yes. Although these sap emissions seem strange, they are nothing for a young plant to worry about. It happens to all male plants as they begin to mature. Like so many other processes, it is totally natural and nothing to be embarrassed about. Thank you for calling. Now don't be shy. We all have questions about how healthy plants pollinate, flower, and fruit. Please feel free to call and ask. This is Dr. Root. Tell me what's on your mind today.
Hello, Dr. Root. Listen, I've been to my doctor, and he says I've got, I don't know how to put this, but I haven't got, I don't have enough, right? You know what I mean, right?
Please, go ahead. There is no need to be shy about these things.
Well, listen, my pollen count isn't what it should be. It's a little bit low. Is there something I can do about this or what?
This is a very common problem. And it isn't a serious one unless you are trying to produce a fruit with that special female in your life. I suggest you consult with Planned Parenthood. Trying to conceive. There are supplements available, or you and your partner might choose to utilize a pollen bank. And of course, you can always choose to adopt a fruit. Well, that's all for today. Bye-bye.
I've tried everything to get rid of my aphids, and nothing helps.
We asked Willowy Brownleaf of Lagoon City to compare new and improved Aphid Begone shampoo with her current aphid control rinse.
Say, this side is tingling.
Say goodbye to aphids for good with Aphid Begone. You're watching Channel 2, Lagoon's #1 entertainment source. Coming up, this week's hilarious episode of Too Leafy for Beaver. But first, this message.
This is the biggest meeting of my life. I can't afford to be pollinating all over the place.
Have you tried Professor Tendrill's anti-pollination cream? It can reduce pollination for up to 8 hours.
Really?
Yes, and it's completely odor-free. Sometimes I even use it myself.
Thanks, boss. I'll give Professor Tendrill's anti-pollination cream a try.
The next day.
Which is how we can help you reduce your fertilizer costs by 25%.
An impressive presentation. I'm sold.
Thanks to Professor Tendrill's anti-pollination cream.
Too Leafy for Beaver, The Adventures of a Young Sprout and His Pet Beaver, starring Flaky Bark as father, Dewy Leaf as mother, Stubby Vine as Big Sis, and Pudgy Root as Little Woody.
Big Sis, have you seen my beaver?
No, and he better not be anywhere near my furniture. Boy, are you gonna get it, little Woody. Your beaver just gnawed down the neighbor's garage.
Oh, man, I'm compost.
When Father gets home from work, he's gonna turn you into shelving.
Oh, well, it could be worse. Aunt Seed Pod could be here.
Big Sis, Little Woody, and Seed Pod is here.
Oh, look how big you've gotten, Bentwood. The last time I saw you, you were only a spore.
I hate being called Bentwood.
Don't you think you'd better find your beaver before he causes any more damage?
Oh, there's something in my bed!
I think Aunt Seed Pod found him. Bad beaver, bad beaver. What are we going to do about the neighbor's garage?
Wasn't Aunt Seed Pod a carpenter before she became a travel agent?
You're right, Big Sis.
There, good as new.
Thanks, Aunt Seed Pod. Say, where's my beaver now?
Little Woody!
On the next hilarious episode of Too Leafy for Beaver, Big Sis is going to the prom until Beaver eats her dress.
You're a tramp, and all your boyfriends are vegetables.
Mom, get the door! My date is here!
Oh, look at the lovely frog that Root Ball brought you as a corsage. Little Woody, what's wrong?
I had that dream again where I'm at school and realize that all my leaves are missing.
Will Basil survive his grafting? Will Rosemary reveal the father of her fruit? Find out next on The Young and the Rootless. But first, a preview of tomorrow night's world television premiere of Day of the Termites.
Do you hear a crunching sound?
It's probably just the wind.
The Army is powerless against them, Mr. President.
Day of the Termites. Tomorrow at 9. And now, Channel 2 proudly presents the #1 daytime TV drama, The Young and the Rootless. On yesterday's episode, we left Heather in the waiting room of City Hospital.
Oh, Hickory, what is keeping them so long? Oh, I can't stand the waiting. Oh, my poor Basil's been in there for hours.
I'm sure they're doing everything they can. Basil has the best specialists in the country working to save him. You knew what you were getting into. You'll just have to be strong.
I thought I knew. Oh, I didn't realize it would be like this, though. Oh, drought. I should have known better than to marry an annual.
Meanwhile, Rosemary and Herb meet at their favorite restaurant.
I'm so happy to be here with you, Rosemary. I assume you invited me to celebrate the arrival of our new sprout.
But, no, I mean...
Waiter, a bowl of your finest loam.
Herb, you don't understand. It isn't our new sprout.
What do you mean? I don't understand what you're telling me.
I didn't intend for it to happen. It was just one of those things. You were away at that fertilizer conference. I went out for a drink. I didn't go looking for anyone. But this charming sapling started talking to me, and before I knew it, I'd been pollinated.
How could you? After all we've meant to each other. Perhaps I should just take it like a real tree and leave.
Will Basil make it through autumn? Will Herb branch out? Tune in tomorrow for the next thrilling episode of The Young and the Rootless.
Hello, friends. Are you young, photogenic, have nice foliage, and are looking for a little extra spending money? Then why not pose for a photo spread in a major magazine? Photo Shoots and Buds will come right to your house for a private one-on-one photo session. Just a reminder, these are all close-pedal shots, nothing pornographic. We don't go in for that sort of thing. So if you think you got what it takes to model, call Photo Shoots and Buds to set up an appointment. Our number is Mushroom Root Pinecone Mushroom, okay? You can earn up to 100 gallons for 1 hour of easy work. So call Mushroom Root Pinecone Mushroom. That's Mushroom Root Pinecone Mushroom. Operators are standing by right now.
You're tuned to the news channel, number 3 on your dial. If you didn't hear it here, it probably didn't happen. This is Newswatch 3 with Fernborough's award-winning anchor plant, Sappy Leaves.
Good afternoon. Our top story today comes from Gardenshire, where a fire raged out of control for nearly 3 hours, killing 2 and sending 7 more to the hospital with severe bark damage. Fire department officials are looking into reports of improper ember storage. Chainsaw-wielding terrorists have struck again in Tall Trunk Province. The attack occurred in the lobby of the First Reservoir Bank. 2 of the terrorists and 1 bystander were sent to the hospital with severed limbs, and an estimated 800 gallons of water were spilled as frightened depositors fled. Now it's time for tonight's health feature, root rot, how to avoid it. Here's our health specialist, Dr. Vedj.
The most important thing to remember is to always keep your roots dry, particularly during the warm, moist months. Make sure you never leave any tendrils sitting in puddles of standing water. And if you do see any of the warning signs of root rot, don't procrastinate. See your physician at once.
A new study from the Institute for the Preservation of the Vedj family shows that sprouts are having sprouts in record numbers, an increase of 14% from 10 years ago. A spokesman for President Peanut said that the administration is concerned and is studying the issue. Are you fed up with waking up and finding birds building a nest in your branches? There's a chemist who may have a solution for you.
We've learned that birds are attracted by a faint odor that we produce while we sleep. This odor can be blocked through the use of a simple fertilizer additive, sending those pesky birds elsewhere.
After this message, an interview with an author who has made some startling discoveries.
Starting to notice thin spots where you once had thick, rich vegetation? Is more and more of your stem showing through your leaves? Then visit the Foliage Club for Men. Results are guaranteed.
I'm not just the president of the Foliage Club for Men, I'm also a customer.
We have in our studio Professor Brokentwig, who has written a new book entitled Secrets of the Bonsai. Welcome, Professor, and tell us about the research that led to your book.
I was studying primitive cultures on the small, sparsely populated islands of the Central Ocean, and I discovered a tribe known as the Bonsais, who were almost completely untouched by modern civilization.
Your book describes some fairly shocking customs.
I presume you're talking about the custom of root binding, in which female bonsais have their roots constrained to a small pot. The resulting petiteness is considered a desirable trait among the bonsai.
That's fascinating. Thank you, Professor Brokentwig. You've all seen it on young street sprouts, but you don't know what to call it. It's bark scoring, and it's more popular than ever among urban sprouts. The procedure, which often leaves the bark permanently disfigured, can cost up to 60 gallons at one of the burgeoning bark-scoring parlors springing up across our cities. Tonight, on Punch Counterpunch, an age-old controversy is revisited. How much pruning is appropriate? We'll start with Stiff Trunk.
Maintaining a foliage height of 6 feet has been the Vedj custom for generations, without, by the way, the slightest signs of long-term health risks. And although a green petal will no doubt heartily disagree, the overwhelming majority of Vedj feel that a neatly pruned appearance connotes a sense of reliability and personal responsibility. Thank you very much.
It's amazing how you and your fellow conservatives deny the signals from your own body's stiff trunk. Study after study shows decreased chlorophyll production, decreased aphid resistance, and increased sap loss after pruning. And what for? Slavish devotion to a completely artificial ideal of Vedj handsomeness and beauty.
Thank you, Stiff Trunk and Green Petal. We'll be back in a moment with the latest sports and weather.
Legume Airlines announces Super Stretch Class, featuring regular coach prices with a full additional 4 inches between rows.
At last. Enough room for my superior root structure.
Stretch your dollars with Legume Airlines.
The Fernborough Foragers moved one step closer to playoff eligibility today, chopping down the Riverside Redwoods with a surprise 7th period wilt. zone tender Fungus Patch was forced to leave the game when the puck hit him right in the bud. In other sports news, the Fernborough Foliage have signed free agent swamp fielder Big Hollow Trunk to a 3-year contract worth an estimated 3.5 million gallons. Storm damage? What's the weather outlook for tomorrow?
I've got bad news, Sappy Leaves. It looks like it's going to be a dry day with low humidity and not a hint of rain.
Oh, no! And we were hoping for a nice wet one so we could take the family for a picnic in the park.
There's better news in the 5-day extended forecast. For the weekend, we'll see a return to damp, humid weather with a 90% chance of thundershowers.
So if we can just get through tomorrow, we have something to look forward to. Tonight we have a report about a Vedj in Trunkton who has been discovered with moss growing on his south side. Something of a loner, the oddity was discovered only when he ventured out of his solaria to make his annual fertilizer purchase. And finally, a pith-warming story. Drooping Leaves, the oldest tree in Fernborough, celebrated her 850th birthday today. Attending were her 5 sprouts, 17 grand sprouts, and countless great-grand sprouts. Asked for the secret of her longevity, Drooping Leaves told us that she stays rooted as much as possible and doesn't worry too much about caterpillar damage. And that's the news.
When droughts strike, it's nice to know you're not alone. That's why over 8 million of you gave generously last year to the Water Fund. Find out what you can do. Call the Water Fund today. The Water Fund is a non-profit organization. All donations are tax deductible. Welcome to Channel 4, the Home Shopping Channel. Today, as every day, we have dozens of great items to choose from. Simply call the number on the screen for the item you'd like to buy, and we'll debit your account. Shopping couldn't be easier.
Here's a really special offering. Genuine rhinestone root rings from Plantastic. These little trinkets will help add sparkle to your root bundle, whether you're out having a romantic dinner or dancing the night away.
My roots always look dull and lifeless. Then I got some Plantastic root rings. Suddenly the phone was ringing off the hook and my date book was filled. I went from being a wallflower to a blossoming beauty. Root rings changed my life. They can change yours.
My girlfriend used to be a real shrinking violet. Then I got root rings for her. Now she's the life of the party. All the guys ask her to dance, but she tells them she's already got the best guy in town. Thank you, root rings.
Order your Plantastic root rings now. Root rings come in faux diamond, ruby, sapphire, or emerald, all set in genuine tin. 3 gallons apiece or 5 for 12 gallons. That's like getting one free. Call now before they're all gone.
Have you had the big guy at the beach kick sand in your face? Are your blossoms and fruits too small? Well, you might need Mighty Oak's nitrogen fixation attractors. Nitrogen fixation attractors will help you to attract important nitrogen fixation bacteria. These bacteria, vital to lush growth, can help you shoot up from skinny sapling to studly forest dweller in no time at all. For those of you who have inadequate blossoms or limp, lifeless fruit, nitrogen fixation attractors can change your life. Just one treatment will help you grow big, big fruits while you watch in amazement.
I used to be the scrawniest sprout on my block. Thanks to Mighty Oak's nitrogen fixation attractors, I get all the tomatoes. The guys who used to push me around are begging to be seen with me now.
Before I tried nitrogen fixation attractors, I always grew tiny shriveled fruits. Now I'm the envy of all my friends, and my flowers have won first prize in a beauty contest. I still can't believe that I was crowned as this year's fruit queen, and I thank Mighty Oaks. You too can grow huge fruits and shoot up like the plants you see here. Just call Mushroom Seed to order Mighty Oak's nitrogen fixation attractors. Only 30 gallons. This is a limited time offer. Call now.
Wow, I'm gonna order some nitrogen fixation attractors right now. My class reunion is coming up, and I don't want to be the pale, willowy guy they used to know. Tell me about some other great stuff.
Sure thing. Today's Health Spotlight is on video. There are plenty of aerobics videos out there. None of them can compare to Stems of Steel. Stems of Steel is the best home workout video on the market today. Guaranteed to trim and tighten sagging stalks, Stems of Steel is a must for any plant who wants to look her best. Don't just take my word for it. Let's take a look at Stems of Steel so you can see for yourself.
1, 2, 3, 4, and rustle. 2, 3, 4. Come on, ladies, lift those leaves. I can hear you respirating.
Not only does Stems of Steel have a great aerobic segment, but it also features fabulous stretches for flexibility and limber limbs.
And then reach for the ground. Reach for the sky. Now stretch your roots. Flex them and stretch again. Now take a moment to relax your leaves and focus on your photosynthesis. By focusing on this vital life function, we tune in with our bodies.
I started using Stems of Steel 2 short weeks ago, and already my friends have noticed a difference. So has my husband. He loves my new flexibility. Call the number on your screen to order Stems of Steel for just 25 gallons. At that price, get one for each of your friends. They'll all thank you.